Ready, set, and it's starting. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Welcome back. I hope you can hear the music, but if it's also too loud, let me know. Hello, hello, hello. uh, nice. Okay, that's awesome. It's been a minute, so I've been making sure that everything's up to date and everything's working, and I have Task Manager open on one of the monitors, just in case. Touch wood. Hi guys, how was your holidays? How was your New Year's? Mm. Forgive me if I seem a little out of practice, it's because I am. Um, as you can see, we have the counter at the very top right of your screen. Um, let's hope that by the end of the stream I can put that number up by one. If not, I don't know. It might have just been that some of my that my drivers was out of date. We Me and my tech consultants think that that may have been the case. Um, it's either that or it is actually a RAM issue, and I cannot afford to get more RAM at this current point in time. But that is fine. That is all right. It has been a fantastic start to the year otherwise. If you are on the Patreon, you know that I've been doing a lot of tinkering behind the scenes and doing a lot of stuff. Um, and yeah, no, it's been sick. It's been great. It's been fun. Um, yeah. Oh, I've made a new version of Dark Tyler based on the posing of the art you made. Is it okay if I post it? Absolutely, of course it is. Um, I always love seeing your art. Um, I do not hear music. Fascinating. Is it because I turned it down? I did turn it down. I turned it down because I needed my headset up a bit louder, and it was so loud I couldn't hear the other thing I needed to hear, so I had to turn it down a bit. Is that a bit better? That might be a bit too loud, just looking at the mixer. RAM as hell right now, yeah. Talabot crash your PC. No, 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 no. Please don't. Ooh, the storyboard pilot is almost done on the final last acts. That's incredible. Well done. That's a huge accomplishment. I can hear the faint sounds of drum. Okay, okay, okay. In that case, we're turning it up a little bit. Okay, let's see. I've doubled it now. Yeah, the mixer is unreliable, but it's kind of the only thing I can use. There's no real way for me to listen back to what I'm doing unless I'm streaming for myself. And I only had like half an hour to prep, so I didn't. Nice, there, it's posted. Hello, good morning, and good evening, and goodbye. Ends the stream. Sure, so much has happened. I don't know where to start, but also, can I start? Anyway, the new video is out. It came out. It was very fun to make, and it was very cool to see the response from everyone. It was very much a passion project for a very long time. God, when did we start? I started drawing the sketches and like doodles and stuff like based on like I said, the video of the markings and everything. Way back in one of my old sketchbooks. God, when was it? 2025 was last year, 2024, 2023? Like late 2023, December of 2023. Which may not be what I said in the video because I tried to kind of start talking about when I started working on the video. And so Vincent and I worked on it on and off for like a year and a half. But then I was doing all because I wanted to like design the actual looks of the people. You should see some of the stuff I threw out. I had people with toothbrush hair, like toothbrush bristles at some point, which I actually really liked, but I had to kind of reel it in to be a little bit more realistic by the end of it. But yeah, no, it was very cool, very fun. It's streaming time, yeah. Other big change, we now have a moderator. So you best be on your best behavior. If you saw them in the chat above, they are one of my best friends in real life. So it is very much a nepotism hire, unfortunately. But I hope that's not too much of a problem. Yeah, so let's see. Other than that, oi. Right, they're moderating all over the place. Oh, nice. Oh, I've got a glad to catch one of your streams. I actually got a race of Sophont? I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. Sophont dinosaurs that live on Skull Island to world build for one of my projects. That's so cool. That's awesome. I love dinosaur world building. We've got a couple of them in well, we've had a couple of them in the stream chat before. I don't know if they're here now. But very sick, very cool. You certainly made some hominids. I certainly did. The stream today is going to be about the streams that came from your eyes when you saw the reception to the video. Kinda. I was really worried about it, but just because I put a lot of myself into it, and like especially at the very end when I kind of talk about like, hey, this is like my concerns about it, and this is what I'm really like most worried about in terms of like reception and understanding kind of my perspective and how other people's perspectives might sort of be different to that, and you know, just trying my best in general. And it's like I rewrote that section of the script so many times because I wanted it to be perfect. I didn't want it to be like interpreted in the wrong way, because I want to learn, and I want to do this as like right as I possibly can, and I wanted to get that across as well as I could, but that's not important. The rest of the video is great. I tried I don't know, I can't compliment it too much because it is something I made. You can never compliment something you've made that much. But yeah, no, ultimately I'm really happy with the video, especially with, yeah, how it turned out and how people have been talking about it. It's neat, I'm happy. But also, like I said earlier, if you're on the Patreon, you've been seeing a lot of stuff in the background. I've started tweaking with the structure of the different Patreon tiers. I've been adding more benefits. I've been trying to make the experience a lot nicer for people who are on the Patreon. So if you are already on the Patreon, I recommend you go check that out and see what like has been added to your tier and the benefits there. I've also got some posts up there that talk about it. I am self-promoting right now. I know. I'm sorry, I'm almost done. But yeah, it's a work in progress. But I really do want to put my all into it and just kind of see if by the end of this year I can really have built something to be proud of, more so than I already am. Super proud of the channel and like the community, and just like everyone here is really cool. So I want to kind of try and give back as much as possible in that regard. Anyways, hello everybody again. Oh, the disco music's coming. Anyway, I keep saying it anyway. So this video is sort of like talking about the live, but ultimately what I pitched it as in the poll for this week's stream is that we're going to be drawing a couple of hominids that showed up in the video and talking about them quite a bit more. I don't know how informative I can be in this stream because this is all stuff off the top of my head, and I need my notes if I'm going to say anything of quality and note. So we should see. Let's see, phenotypes. But yeah, no, so we've got a pretty fun order. I actually, one of the comments asked for a, what is it called? Family tree. It's like diagram for it, which makes a lot of sense because I needed one myself when I was working on the video, just to keep myself organized. Disco music. Oh yeah, disco music kind of gives pumped up kicks. Yeah, it's just it's the. Am I going insane? It feels like it's the right speed. Anyway. So if you were not aware, or if you were aware, or if you might be aware, or if you've never been aware of anything in your life, let's just sort of start off. Just this is for me too. This is my notes. I have a piece of paper here that I wrote it all down on. So we'll see if I'll be able to get this as organized as possible on here. So 1.9 million years. There we go. 1.5. I have not fixed any of my presets. Okay, 1.5 million years ago, more or less, we have AN1 Dignids conditor, which then has a direct evolution into AN2 Dignids Evis. There. And then a second direct evolution into AN3 Ornatus ornatus. So Ornatus have the fun patterns, and Avis are very similar to Condor, except they have less body hair and slightly different builds. And then you and then this is about 900,000 years ago. And then moving on from there, you have another direct evolution into with some genetic contribution from Ornatus ornatus into AN5 Atlas. And fun fact about Atlas, the name is wrong. It's actually supposed to be Altus. What happened, if you look at the original video, there's a pinned comment there that literally says that, well, that of someone pointing that out, and then like both me and Vincent commenting under it, like, oh, you're right. Because it was just a translation error that kind of just carried on through the script, and I didn't know any better, so I just put it into the final draft of the script, and then I put it into all the art, and then it just never got changed. So it is supposed to be, I believe it's Altus? Let me actually see if I'm not correcting it to the wrong thing, because that would be a real bad. I think it was Altus. See, I don't trust myself, so I have to go. Yes, it is Altus. Okay. I did remember right. Because that was pretty embarrassing. But what's important is that I'm saying it now. Anyway, so we have Altus, who were the early ice giants, sort of the does this confirm the Persona X Immortal collab? No. Oh, hi Madeline James, thank you so much for popping in. That's so cool. Thank you very much. Crab. She wrote it wrong, yeah. Okay, so after Altus, we get a N7, which is actually not a direct evolution. It is a hybridization between Parenthesilius, which is AN4. I'm not doing this in any kind of order, clearly. Parenthesilius, as a direct evolution from Avis. Yeah, just Avis. And then they hybridized with Altus, with a little bit of genetic contribution from Brevis, who is over here. And they are 3.1 instead of a whole number. because despite some influence from the others, they were it's a direct evolution, but not really like a full evolution. Something. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Adrian the Immortal. I really appreciate that. You are immortal. That is what we say, yes? Yes? Frogs will also become crabs, as is the way of evolution. Right, and yeah, so then they had some genetic influence from Ornatus brevis, and then you had, this is very interesting, I know, just bear with me. And then you have a N7 with Nyx, haha, who are our ice giants that are going to be present in the official comic when and if it comes out. Right, so yes. Okay, and then you had Nyx, and then you had, this is about 100,000 years ago. Oh, I didn't specify. This is about 400,000 years ago, give or take. I have to give like a little indicator here. And then other than that, yes, okay, and then we have AN6 or G1, which is Consecratus. And I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I looked it up and I'm pretty sure it's okay. Right, so Consecratus, which is our human equivalent, is a direct evolution from Parensis. Yeah, just direct, not much changing over there. And then we had AN8, Dignids Filius Minimus. Yeah. And so we had direct evolution from Ornatus brevis. No, it was a hybridization. Parensis and brevis. And then it's quite fun. Some of the stuff that gets left out is that like some of the species continued on, but then of course they all meet their extinction at certain points. They just no longer are around. Which you can see a lot better in the different maps that I drew up for the video. Not so much in this. Because I didn't really use specific times for this section exactly. And then we have Consecratus, and then following on from there, we just have G1. But then there's, of course, some influences from both Filius Minimus and Nyx. Which was the fun part of this whole process. Yeah, so it's not that interesting, but I hope that maybe for the people who think better in this kind of format, that helps. Let's see. Especially with, because like once we reach G, it's interesting to see how different people look, but they are still ultimately people. So I had a lot more fun with this sort of section of the writing and drawing the art for the different characters, because it is all a lot more speculative. I got to have like a lot of fun with just the different like shapes and designs for the characters, specifically with Conditor, which I'm just gonna pop on the top here. One of the things, oh, actually, you can thank the mod for the you can thank the moderator present tonight for the incredible idea to give them goofy tropical like costumes. Because I was like debating it with them one night, and I said I want to show what they look like, but not like be crass about it. And then like just showing them in like their underwear seems like maybe it would be a bit too much for like YouTube's guidelines and stuff. And so we'll just put them in goofy. Put them. I think the original idea was hot underwear. It just kind of ballooned from there. But yeah, no, it was very cool, very fun, very sick. But yeah, specifically with like the shape of the body, I wanted to really explore some of like how they properly look. Like I had notes from the point where I was the point that I was at when I was making the video. I had a lot of notes, and I had a lot of older sketches that I made before writing the script and making the notes, that I then had to like go back and cross-reference and sort of go like, okay, so this is what the original idea was, but this is what the actual hard, not science, but like this is what I know I want out of the concept. And then it was really fun to go back and just sort of go like, yeah, no, we're gonna have it like exactly like this. And they're like much more broad-shouldered, and they have very thicker builds and stronger stances. You can see, well, at least I hope you can see that like their center of gravity is maybe a bit lower. Of course, like the body hair is a huge giveaway. That's like a huge thing. But they are still humans in a way. They're much more human than they are animal. They are standing like people. They look around and are sort of standing. Well, it's they are human. They look human, aside from, I guess, like the facial hair and shapes. And that's like the idea. That was the hope, is if I lean closer to humanity, it is a lot more safer than like being like, this is where they are, where they're like in that transition point between ape and human. It's like, okay, well, where do you draw the line in that point, right? When do they stop being animals? When do they stop being humans? And that's a question that we're still currently asking. Also, thank you, thank you, Torman, for the 5. Thank you very much for the donation. You are immortal. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Oh, is the Conlang and its dialects common across the breadth of G3, or do you see it as more regional to Tala's neck of the woods? I think it would be much more regional. I have to imagine so, just looking at the way language is distributed now, and how it tends to splinter, especially when travel starts to become limited. Or not travel, but it's difficult to say because I haven't done a lot of research in that specific area, but just based on my understanding of when humans switched from the hunter-gatherer lifestyle to permanent settlements, it would probably make a lot more sense for some elements of the language to be a lot more widespread over Tala's point of, like, over her lifespan in the point when she's born, but then to become a lot more splintered and narrow, and for there to be a lot more different dialects. And then when I say widespread, I really mean like over the western part of the northern continent. So if you want to cut it into half, I think that would maybe be a good simplification of it. But like I said, I haven't done like a lot of real research into it. So yeah, but thank you very much. Think they had, since they have thicker body hair, do they not sweat as much as our own ancestors did? That's a tricky thing as well, because it's, again, it's asking that question of like, well, how different was their lifestyle compared to modern day humans? And I don't know. I want to say that they had very similar lifestyles to humans, again, because it then raises that question of how do you draw the line? That is not really the question you asked, I'm sorry, but they would probably not, or maybe they would. It might be more of a more in-depth question than I could properly answer. Ugh, I can't speak today. I'm sorry, I wish I could give you a better answer than that. How come many of these hominids are so hairy? Lack of hair is a defining human trait, and combined with our extensive sweat glands gave us record stamina to take over the world. You're not wrong. That again is another thing where it's a question of how human are they? And I wanted to stick closer to being human rather than not, because I am not qualified or knowledgeable enough in the area, even with the amount of research that I feel I did for this video. It's that understanding of the biology of them. I want to say that they had more human lifestyles, that they were persistence hunters, that they had the same diets, had the same family structures, that they had the same all of that, with the addition of having this almost vestigial amount of like body hair that maybe was needed at some point but is no longer needed now, even at this point in their life, like in their evolutionary process, right? Also, Colonel Hammerhead, thank you very much. Sorry, thank you very much. You are immortal. Gonna have Spec Evo fish and terror birds. I don't know. Probably not. I was talking about it with Vincent earlier this week, actually. If we do this kind of in-depth evolution for additional animals or fantasy animals or creatures of any type, I feel like I will not know where to finish, and I feel like I will fall down into the world building rabbit hole and I will never escape. First of all, because like, again, it's the matter of, I don't know that much about the subject. I know as much as I needed to in order to make the video and be able to create these this evolutionary tree and these different, quote unquote species, but it is very it's a very dense subject, and it's not one that I fully feel comfortable enough playing around in. I know speculative evolution is like a huge interest in a lot of people who do world building, and that was my hope in this part of the project, is being able to understand speculative evolution that much more. That having been said, I still feel like maybe there's some stuff that I should be like a lot more versed in before I start making this kind of stuff. Because like, as much as I feel like I know, there's always going to be, in the audience, there's always going to be people who know that much more than me, which is kind of the writer's curse. I'm sorry, I hope these answers aren't like feeling a lot like cop-outs. There are pretty hairy humans out there even now. It doesn't seem like a huge stretch. Yeah, I kind of wanted it to feel that way. It's you get people who just happen to have more body hair, and it's an extension of that just kind of became lesser and lesser over time, less common over time. But yeah, like, I myself am not super intelligent. I try, but I I have a lot to learn in a lot of areas. This probably won't be seen, but magic, that thing? For grooming. How's the MC immortal? That is magic thing. But that is spoiler territory, so I will not be saying at this point in time. Magic is a way out of it. I also spoke about that with Vincent. It's like, okay, well, look, we don't have to do evolution. We can just have like magic animals, which is entirely possible. Like, it's the fun thing about the I suppose you would call it the magic system in the world of Immortal, is that is something I could technically do. Again, where do I stop? So it's the thought. Well, it's a thought that I have on the back burner at the moment that I'll sort of chew on for a while, but I don't know yet if I want it to be something that can happen or something that I want to happen too often. Because I do feel like certain things are a little bit too easy when you let the magic system control it. And yes, there is a magic system, it's fine. Don't think about that right now. I know I've never mentioned it before, it's fine. Ooh, what kind of megafauna are in the story? I personally love creating fictional beasts and animals. Unfortunately, it's all the historical ones. It's not really any original ones at the moment. Likely there won't be any original ones in the future. You have your Irish elk, you have your woolly rhino and your woolly mammoth and your cave hyenas, all the species that were around before the last glacial maximum. Well, I shouldn't say that because they were around during the glacial maximum. It's just like recent. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were there and you'll probably see them. Yeah. Oh, Hi, I'm new to the channel and I love the Hominids video. I just want to ask, is there a semi-aquatic human and other fictional creatures? I was just talking about that. No, likely not a lot of more speculative evolution, likely not a lot of magical creatures, fictional creatures. I am hoping to have quite a few cultures that center around a semi-aquatic system of not system, but semi-aquatic lifestyles and religious sects. But I don't know if I am going to have semi-aquatic humans. I feel like that would be fun. Little unrealistic. Again, it's we stuck pretty close to realism. Well, my concept of realism, as shoddy as it is, for the species specifically, well, for humans specifically. So there's the evolution in it is relatively simple. It's this understanding that the environment changes their appearance, the environment changes their behavioral patterns, that they would develop certain physical traits that might be seen as more attractive, that can then lead to them being more prevalent within groups of people. It's just not, it's simple. If you break it down to its most simple elements, it is relatively simple. And stuff like semi-aquatic humans is less simple. All cultivation started around water, so you're absolutely right. In real life, a lot of the earliest semi-permanent settlements and permanent settlements were on the edges of oceans, simply because it was some of the most productive areas that you could settle in, because you would constantly have shellfish, marine life, marine vegetation. I forget the word. I'm sure there's a term for it. Marine vegetation. You would have a lot of options to source food from, which meant that you would be able to settle down in a single place for longer because the local food would not run out as quickly. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty sick. However, evolution takes long. And semi-permanent settlements have been, at least as far as we know, are a relatively new addition. Sorry, I'm taking a while to think this all through, because so you make good points. So I have to kind of remember why they're not there. Or even come up with a reason why they're not there on the spot. I do apologize. Just because we don't have magic doesn't mean there can't be tons of myths and superstitions. Oh, absolutely. You think Atlantis isn't gonna be a superstition and or conspiracy theory? they're just gonna have their own Atlantis, just reskinned. If magic is in the immortal universe, then when does the Great Wizard War start? Soon. One day. Don't worry about it. Semi-aquatic humans will probably take millions of years to evolve. Yeah. I agree. I am also very agreeable, but yeah, it would take a long time. Have you guys ever seen that mermaid documentary? I think it was BBC? No, it wasn't. It was one of those, oh god, it was like that series of fake documentaries that were made by a single company. Was it the BBC? And they talked, like, one was about dragons, one was about mermaids, one was about something, something, something. I forget. I only ever saw the dragon one and the mermaid one. And it was very cool. How old is your world? As old as ours. Oh, is there an area of your world that would be the Fertile Crescent where the first empires came about? Yes, absolutely. And it's in a very similar location. I am a coward, so I am making things location-wise fairly similar, simply because, or at least unless I do more research into it and figure out that there's more that I didn't understand about it that I understand now. And then if I understand more about it, I can change the location because that location would have the same requirements or area specific area specific resources that would have been able to enable the Fertile Crescent. So yeah, maybe they will be. It might not be in the same location as real world. Maybe it will be. I've basically ripped off Earth already. Immediately thought of Doggerland. Yeah. I really love Doggerland. I love the concept of it. Team Atlantis. Ooh. History Channel 1 Dragons of Fantasy Made Real? Yeah. Discovery also did that Megalodon. Oh, I remember the Megalodon one. I just saw like clips of it online. Anyway, yeah, so the so that mermaid documentary specifically even talks about like the potential evolution of it, and it starts so far back in human evolution as opposed to here, because 1.5 million years ago is a long time ago, but when it comes to evolution, it's not that long ago. It's not enough time to change humans from land mammal omnivore into a semi-aquatic omnivore. Like, you know, like it's I was explicitly told that by Vincent, and I trust him wholeheartedly. I tried to pitch a lot of things, and a lot of them didn't come through, didn't happen because there wasn't enough time for them to have happened. What cultures will emerge in your world? Will you make completely new ones, or will we have fantasy not England and fantasy not Europe? Okay, that is the one area that I am changing a lot. I don't want the cultures to be one-to-one sort of reskins of real ones. That is definitely not the it's definitely not what I want. Because the thing is that when it comes to culture specifically, that is the one area where I feel I understand most of it enough to be able to really have fun with it. And the whole point of making this whole world is for me to have an excuse to play around with as much of it as possible. I'm not saying, like, don't expect it to be incredible. I don't know. I don't think I've done anything like extremely groundbreaking, but I've been having a lot of fun making a lot of different cultures that will emerge throughout the story. And that is the one place where I want it to be really, really fun. And that is why I went through the effort of making all these different G groups and all these different phenotypes, because I want there to be as much variation as possible that isn't a one-to-one exchange. Because if you do one-to-one exchanges for cultures, you have to have that representation as well. You can't have a one-to-one European reskin and not have them be populated by people who look European. That is one of the big things in fantasy, where like you have a game come out and there's people of color in it, and then like a weird awful group of the internet has like a meltdown about it. Like people have preconceived ideas of what should and should not be there if things look a certain way, and that is the one thing that I am trying to avoid. I like playing Mermaid in Pool. Yeah. Me too. Of course, Bigfoot exists in the Immortal Universe. You know, Nyx is one of my favorites because they were one of the first that I made. They will be they are the ones that look the most like Bigfoot. Within, I guess, the actual comic, as it will be soon. So I guess you could call them Bigfoot analogs. Well, Yetis maybe more. Will there be a Roman Empire equivalent? Yes and no. I hope to borrow a lot of what made the Roman Empire successful. The way it managed itself, the way it managed to spread so far across its across the amount of land that it did in the time that it did. Its technological evolutions, the way that it kind of grew as this incredible empire. I think all of that is very fascinating to talk about, but I don't want it to be Roman, or explicitly Roman, which is going to be an interesting thing to pass, because a lot of what made Rome behave the way it was is the rules that it set for itself and the culture within a group. that it grew within. But it's that's what I want to be able to play around with more. Specifically as well, you get ancient Egypt, because you have these incredibly advanced and powerful civilizations at certain times. So of course I have to look to them to have a basis of understanding to what for what to do in my own world. But I don't know if I want to have the same trappings and the same like cultural sort of markers. And when I say I'm not sure I do, it means I don't want those. I'm trying to temper my language quite a bit. Will there be a Hatsune Miku equivalent? Is Tala not a Hatsune Miku equivalent already? Some sort of virtual or magical idol? Is Tala not a virtual or magical idol already? The protagonist is called Tala, which is the very next question after that. Dignids Nix is your favorite? Bigfoot allegations confirmed. No, thank you. No, thank you, actually. Did you see what I said in the video? I need to... I put too many inside jokes into the videos that, like, only 20 people are gonna understand. The protagonist is Tala, but for some reason she is shorter than her brother Taran. Well, you see, age is a factor. Does anyone remember this Spotify rap? Well, you see, Taran is tall. And Tala is not. Bye Harriscar, thank you so much for watching. Well, joining us. Friendly reminder, the hominoid group on the southwestern continent is the best since it has the immortal branded Great Lakes. I see. Bye Harriscar. Rome is an interesting case in the sense that they managed to tie all the fields of prestige and honor into furthering the prestige and honor of Rome itself. No, very interesting, absolutely. Tala, Gnosis, you're shorter. Why do I read your comment? Why do I read the chat? I understood at the very least some of the inside joke. There's a lot of Bigfoot jokes on the Discord. And since I've mentioned the Discord and people are likely to ask, it is a Patreon Discord for patrons. It is a very cool place, and I highly recommend joining it. And it's $1 a month. I'm really bad at that. Could someone else do the advertising for me? Does Tala have any marketable skills at any point in time? Oh, it's Dignids. Yeah, no, yeah. Does Tala have any marketable skills? She can run real good. And, pokey pokey stick. She can make stone tools. She's gonna learn a lot of languages. She's gonna be a polyglot. She has the innate ability to not be able to process dairy. I don't know. I think she might be one of those LinkedIn like you I don't know anything about LinkedIn. I don't know what I'm saying. You see her on LinkedIn, you're like, how has this person lived so long? How have they survived with the skills that they have? The what? Question, in what ways will the wild gods change, if at all? That's a great question. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'll join the Discord event. Don't worry about it. No pressure. I hype it up, but it's because the people on it are very cool. I've got nothing to do with it. That they did that all their own. They're very sick. Can anybody do the advertising on volunteers tribute? No. I can make stone tools. Bailey, I love that guy on YouTube Shorts who makes the stone tools and does like microfishing on like fake glass. Not fake glass, but like patent glass. Tala the Forever Girl failure. Yeah. Yeah. Listen. She is a strong, independent character. She is a bit of a girl failure. Oh, imagine thinking of a joke in 1,000 years dead language that makes no sense in any modern language. Yeah, it's like the Mesopotamian dog in a bar joke. I don't know. I actually can't remember it off by heart. Oh, hi Vincent! Thank you for joining! We were just discussing Nyx and if Immortal would have any marketable skill. If Tala would have any marketable skills in the future. Oh, to make it a little harder on you, why it's very hard to separate cultures from the civilizations is the fact those cultures built the civilization. No, 100%. The culture came before the civilization. And then the culture changes over time within the civilization. It's a very fascinating topic. Sometimes I peek over Hannah's shoulder to look at the Discord. You're funny. Yeah. No, they're not allowed on the Discord. They would cause too much chaos. I am talking about the moderator. Are women with thicker facial hair more common? It depends, I suppose, on what you consider to be more common. It's quite common, especially in, I believe, people within the Southern Hemisphere. I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. It's something that I heard once. Is that it's quite common to have people with a bit more like body hair, and then it's considered a problem and there's a diagnosis for it, but it doesn't really seem like much of a problem if so many people have it. To me, I don't know, it's something I read. It is a little bit more common in specifically, let me find them, G4. No, G4. Don't open in the wrong screen. There we go. So G4, which are the modern descendants of G1 with quite a bit of Nyx influence, specifically tend to have a little bit more like of a sideburn, just naturally, just ordinarily, both in young men and women. And that is kind of where I've sort of put the line, I think. Who is it? Is it G8? G6. No, it is G8. Specifically G8 also have that trait as well. But more in the northern side. So G8.1 is the most northern placed, and so you can kind of see that a little bit if you squint. I haven't given it that much detail, clearly. Unfortunately, when I was drawing up the G designs, I was in extreme crunch mode. So if I could, I would like to go back and draw a lot more variations of them, kind of go into more detail of them. Because at the moment, I feel like I kind of went, okay, man, woman, this is like the body type for one, body type for the other. I didn't have as much variation between them as I did with any of like the Dignids designs. So I would like to go back and just sort of expand on it a little bit more. But at the moment, I feel like what was shown in the video is a little bit more. It's acceptable, but I would like to do a bit more if I had the time to. Giorgio is too powerful to join the Discord. I fear for my life. I feel like it'd bring about a 7-year plague. A revolt against me. Now that you finished the video, you're going to do my homework now. Do your own homework. God. It's the best I got, sorry. I can't come up with... Ah, shit. Shut up. I can't put them in stylish modern swimwear. Yeah, no, it was one of the best parts actually of making the whole thing. What's the name of the planet? I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. Dignids land. Let's call it that for now. I'm really bad with naming and labels and stuff like that, which is why all of these guys are called like 8.1 and 8.2 and like G and everything. I mean, I think giving them names might have been a little bit worse in my attempts to emphasize that they are all just people in certain areas and not like different or divided by their appearance. So I'm glad that I didn't. But I'm sure I go out of my way to not name things unless they absolutely have to be named. I'm really bad at them. I called the comic Immortal. It's a very bland name. I could have done better if I thought about it. A Blake. Yeah. Love you. Don't give in. Don't hurt me. Give me Plague. Yeah. I like your naming convention, very academic. Thank you. Vince. Sorry, I'm reading things. Oh, thanks. The variant names are a really cool touch. It feels like scientific categorization, perhaps of relatively small samples of their fossils. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Thank you. But Jana, and then we have the Dignids specifically they get their actual names and labels as they would have been named by presumably the archaeologists that discovered them. Which is why you get to Consecratus. I think I said it all 3 different ways in the video. I covered all my bases. Consecratus has the name that they do because it means, I believe it means, what did I say it meant? It's a king or holy one? No, that's wrong, because Parencilius means parent of the king. I said this in the video. I should remember this. Anyway, it's a very important, very flashy name because, yeah, like to be consecrated. It's to be holy. So it's a it's a reflection of the culture that named them, which I suppose is minor spoilers, but it's more of like a little hint at what's to come, which I am much more excited to share. Yay, dirt. Oh, I guess because Tala is a nomad and she tends to be out in the open, some mountains and rivers would still be there like she remembered, but maybe people would build stuff over it. Yeah, no, 100%. It's also something that I've been thinking about for a long time is what would change and what would stay the same. So presumably something like a mountain would stay the same, but it's hills and height and valleys might change. The change might be imperceptible, or it might be so incredibly obvious depending on how, I suppose, familiar she was with the environment. So something like her homeland where she grew up, she would know so well that it would almost be completely alien to her by the time she reaches the modern day. Not just because of the people building around it or in it, but because of the way that the trees and groves and landmarks that she would have been able to tell the landscape by would have changed over time. Revered, thank you, I'm sorry. Consecrated means revered. I am dumb, and I need to see my notes for everything, as I think I have maybe proven over these streams. The little stinker sticking his tongue out at the camera. Yeah, I love. I tried to have a little fun with it. He is my favorite character though. Him and the baby. It was so funny because I, while making all the different characters, I tried really hard to have like, okay, we can show the elderly, we can show, you know, middle-aged, we can show young. Like young people is obviously the easiest to draw because in my mind they sort of act as a default. They're the people that I have the most experience in drawing. They're the people that you always expect to be the ones drawn. So like drawing like young, sort of like physically attractive, I guess, like beauty standard fitting people. But I tried to have a little bit more variation there. I don't know if I did a really good job. I feel like maybe the dissemination is maybe a little bit off in places, but specifically with the kids, I was like, okay, well, if they have like a little one, like a baby, an infant who can't like stand on their own, they have to be like held by a parent, because like you can't just have them sitting on the floor not being looked after just like on their own. And I had that rule for all of the characters that I drew right up until Consecrators, and then I just forgot. And I drew him on the floor, just like looking up. He's been abandoned. And then I got to it, and I polished up all the other ones. And like I said, it was a huge time crunch. I was like rushing to get this video out before the end of the year, before the deadline. And I saw the sketches for it that I'd done, and it was just him on the floor. And I went, oh my god, that is not correct. He's supposed to be like held by a presumably family member or like a group member. It's fine. And then I just drew it anyway. I didn't have the time. These parts, these drawings took the longest out of the whole video. Actually, it took I think I spent 2 weeks straight drawing all of the Dignids, not the G's, just the Dignids groups. And I did draw a lot more of them. I drew a lot more of them than G, which is why there's so few G now. For each example at least, but like, yeah, Dignids took so long. And I was drawing in every like free second that I got during my days in between work and that, and it took so long. And it's when something takes so long, I fall into like tunnel vision. It's like, oh my god, I'm never gonna finish. And then I finish, and it's like the clouds open up, and the sun appears, and finally I'm free. Free to work on the rest of the video. It was such a relief to go back to editing. Chicken soup pie. Oh my god, I didn't tell anyone. I have Rocky the Rock. I have a little crocheted Rocky the Rock. That, if you don't know Rocky the Rock, oh god, when was it? There was a stream a couple months ago, where chat was picking the issue 1 cover art. And then I was drawing the cover art, and after that, it was part 2 of that concept part 2 of that stream. And I drew, there was a little face on one of the rocks that I drew, and his name was Rocky, and then I had to erase them because I was working on the rest of the image. And Chicken Soup made Chicken Soup parasocialism, my beloved. I know, I'm sorry. Anyway, so Chicken Soup and I met last week in person, and I got Rocky the Rock. And Rocky the Rock is sitting on my shelf next to me, and I wish I could show him. You know? And it is so cool, and it is amazing, and it is the coolest thing I own, I think. It's very cool. When I was young, I remember a Rocky the Rock. There are many Rockies, but this one's my Rocky. You have deadlines for yourself? Quite responsible. No, the sponsors have deadlines. I was working on the video, I want to say late September? Yeah, no, not September. Late November. And World Anvil reached out to me through email. Just said, hey, yeah, no, do you want to... yeah, no, do you want to do a sponsorship? And I was like, oh god, I don't know. I'm working on this video, but I don't know how long it's gonna take. And I kind of gave them like a window, and I was like, I think it'll be done mid-December. No, I said early December. That was how optimistic I was. Early December. And then by early December, I was still working on the Dignids designs, and that took me 2 weeks. So I was like, oh, it's not gonna be done. It's not gonna be done. Can I set the release as late as possible in December? And they were fine with that, so that's why it came out on the 31st. I was working on it right up until a week before, because if you're on the Patreon, it releases a week or more earlier than it does on YouTube, all the videos, and I was rushing to reach the Patreon deadline, and then I just had like a nap for a full week until it came out on the 31st. But that was the thing, it's something I always forget to factor in when it comes to deadlines, and then I remember, and then I freak out about it, and then it is entirely my own fault. I should be better about it. It's true, Georgia was the chair. Yeah, chicken soup was the sacrifice. Nah, it's fine. Small... oh god. Small sacrifice in order to me to be the famous YouTuber with all of the subscribers. I think I'm slowly losing my mind. It's ticking over into 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? I am going insane. This is me going insane. Ooh, made my first post on the Discord. Nice! Yeah, I saw a chicken soup died. Guys, no! I've never killed anyone, I swear. I'm just like what you see on the TV. Do you know people put my videos on the TV? No one should be putting my videos on the TV. I've said this before. No one should be putting my videos on the TV. They are not TV-worthy videos. You watch that on your phone. I thought the video was a replacement for the streams we didn't have on New Year. No! I wish I could say they were, but it takes me longer than that to make them. Ah, hi Adrian! Please be humbler, Hannah. No, I can't do that. That would just be too humble of me. A worthy cause for sacrifice. Oh no, Georgia. I'm being bullied in the chat. Oh. Okay, no. This is unforgivable. I'm gonna hide away in my doodles now. This is... I cannot believe you would do this. My feelings. Does the world have a star system built? Oh, it did. Oh, a very long time ago I made one, but I believe I made a short about it as well. I made a star chart for the world, and it's sitting somewhere in my physical files now. But I haven't looked at it in a very long time, and I have the worrying suspicion that I'll have to go back to it and fix it, because there'll be like multiple problems wrong with it. There'll be like things I didn't know about the stars. Because it's I had a problem back in the day when I started, and I guess still a little bit now, where if something looks right, then I just assume it's right. Specifically when it comes to things like star charts, maps. If it looks right, it's good enough for me. And so I made the star chart, it looked right, which meant it was good enough for me. So I will probably have to go back and see if there's many things wrong with it. There will probably be. Let's put this on the TV, guys. Please don't. No, thank you. No, thank you. Oh no. I want to give a warning. There's an AI channel using my name, just a PSA, since that sucks, but it's easy to notice. The content isn't even prehistory or hominid related. Oh no. Okay, this is a Razaki animation studio. Okay. I'll remember. And I hope the people at home remember to stop bullying Hannah. Nah, I can take it. I'm strong and still. I'm like so mature and capable of taking abuse. I definitely don't read mean comments and cry and think about them forever. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so I say that Nyx is my favorite, and that is true to an extent. But my other favorite is by far Ornatus Brevis, because they're like Ornatus. They're just a little shorter. And I don't know why, but I really like the extremes of very tall or very short and no in between. And that's just what the group looks like. Okay, let's start with a warm-up sketch. I haven't drawn any people today. They've got very high up noses. Let's see. I loved both the Ornatus species, yeah. Definitely the most fun. Oh, what kind of writing do you write and what do you like to write? Oh, Adrian the Immortal. Never mind. I'm not involved in this. I can't wait to see the Talos cinematic universe. Oh no. It's fine. It's not that big. Also, you're not allowed on the Discord, so you can't. Sorry. I'm taking a little bit too much glee out of this. Ah, there we go. And that, and that. Who are you drawing now? Just one of the Ornatus Brevises. The whole idea I had behind the stream is like, of course, talk about the video a lot as well, but also just kind of chill, draw, maybe do a little bit of like slice of life stuff of the hominids themselves. It's Dignus erectus or Dignus sapiens if that was used in our world. I believe the analogues for them would be Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, Homo ergaster, and Homo heidelbergensis. I believe those were the 4 ones that were modeled after. Well, those were what we modeled these Dignids species off of. So yeah, relatively speaking, they still look very human. I just gave these ones more hair. In Talisman, people have their languages here. Discord is just bitch. Aw. Yeah. Banned from yet another public space. Let's see. Huh. What was that about this being a quick sketch? I don't remember. What does a chest even look like? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Not even if I tried. There you go. Oh, you know something I never did? I didn't do smiley faces. Those terrible emoji. Is that even common? I feel like I've seen that so many times in places, but I couldn't tell you a single instance of it. There you go. They're not complete without the goofy underwear. That will be that will be a constant throughout this. There we go, and the feet are not so important. The feet, they can be here or there. We do not mind. Who even looks at the feet? Bye, Colin. Did I? Colonel. Bye, Colonel Hammerhead. Colonel Hammerhead. Have a great time. Thank you very much for being here. Let's see. Do not let children in. What's the brand of shorts he's wearing? Gucci. It's the only brand I know. It's not a brand I wear. It's just the only one I know. There we go. Okay. Then he wouldn't really be. There we go. You gotta add the patterns. The patterns were a lot of fun to play with as well. Actually, if I could... I can't show you any of the old sketches. Where did I put my sketch? God forbid I know where anything is in this house. I did put it somewhere. It is entirely my fault if I can't find it. This is one of the newer sketchbooks, so I don't have as many examples. The original concept for the different spots and stuff was very similar to Vitiligo, but I kind of went back and forth on it quite a lot, just because Vitiligo is a real thing that real people have, and it's called Vitiligo, and it has rules to it. It's not just an appearance that an entire group has. And I was on the fence for it for a very long time, and then eventually made the choice to change the designs of the patterns to not resemble vitiligo, but to instead be darker and resemble something else entirely. And this was a very it took a lot of thinking. It took a very long time. I stuck with that idea for a very long time. It was only earlier this year that I made the switch over, and it was because it would not be vitiligo. It would be something else. And with that comes it can be seen as a good thing or a bad thing depending on the perspective of the people who see that piece of media. And I didn't want to risk people seeing it as a negative thing as opposed to a positive thing, because there are so many people in the world who would have taken it either as a very good thing or a very bad thing. And it is not up to me to tell one group or the other group that their opinion is wrong. It is just my job to also show vitiligo within the story, on top of these different like human appearances as well. And it's a that one took me a long time, and I didn't mention it in the video because I was like, this is a nothing. The video is going to be too long if I talk about every little like detour that I took on this whole process. Gucci doesn't have enough followers for a Hannah collab yet? Yeah, no. They gotta reach at least 8 billion. And then even then they gotta really like beg when they come to me. Oof. I don't know if I'm... No. I don't know if I'll ever be big enough for that kind of collab. Wouldn't that be nice? Living the dream. Anyway. Yeah, so we had the... oh god, I shouldn't call them the toothbrush hair people, but that is kind of what the only idea I had behind their design was, where it was... Their hair is very coarse. Not coarse, but very, very, very thick, very tough. And so it sticks up perfectly. And so I had a lot of fun designing different like hairstyles for this. The mohawk was an obvious one. But unfortunately, it was a little bit too unrealistic. It's like, how would that hair texture, if it hadn't developed in real life, then how would it have developed here, and would it have been a necessary development? And it was just, there were too many questions that I really couldn't answer. And so they were abandoned. My poor toothbrush people. Oh wait, no, I do have some younger, well, not younger, but I made them in about June. It was my attempt at translating it into my style. Where is it? Huzzah! Yeah, so it was just the original designs for the patterns were very, very simple, where each character would have a random assignment of sort of spots and prints. And looking back on it now, I do think I prefer the route that I did end up choosing at the end of the day. And then that would also extend to the hair as well. So you would have patches of very light hair, very dark hair. And then, yeah, there's a very interesting way to approach the idea of beauty standards and the idea of like all this sort of stuff in certain areas. For example, the people who have, it's G6, I believe, with the freckles. It's this idea that to have perfectly uniform freckles is more desirable. So if you have freckles that just are like a little bit splotchy, or you have like a bare patch on like your cheek, that would then be filled in with makeup, because to be more uniform in your freckles is more desirable. So they would add or remove freckles as needed just to achieve a specific kind of look. Why are we talking about the Louvre? I look at the chat for 1 minute. Or I don't look at the chat for 1 minute. Sneak into the lube and put a printed image of your comic there for the prestige and publicity. They will treat me like the people who threw tomato soup but then goes on. Immortal X lube collab. An illegal Immortal X lube collab. I am one of the firm believers in all press is good, press is not real. Anyway, so they would have hair like that. And then you would have sort of hair bands that would like have peacock feathers because it would be quite a warm environment. So depending on like the area, yeah, they would have like peacock feathers and they would have like all these like headdresses that would sort of like accentuate the fact that their hair really just like did not follow the rules of gravity at all, even in the slightest. They were more inspired by the Egyptians specifically. So there was a lot of white wraps and gold accents. I don't know. I can't say if I miss them that much, actually. I was so against changing any of the ideas when I first had them. It's like, no. It took me so long to come up with this concept. I'm going to stick with it forever because God forbid I change a thing. And I'm really glad that I changed a lot of these things. Let's see. Oh, and then the hair for G6 as well. Let me pull up G6. G6 is fun, but I'm definitely planning on messing around the most with G2.2. I feel like they're going to be quite... Like, I have plans for them already in a way that I don't have plans for the others in the same... Like, I don't have that as fleshed out. But I definitely know what I'm going to do with G2.2. G6.2.2. But that doesn't mean anything. It's fine. Don't think about it too much. Anyway, that was what I meant with the freckles, right? So you would probably fill in gaps like that just to make it more even along the cheeks. Which I think is fair. I think that's a acceptable beauty standard that you don't see every day. Oh, do you have an idea about what the gods are doing before the crisis of Dignids? No need for details. The crisis of Dignids? Or the creation of Dignids? I mean, the gods probably wouldn't be doing much of anything. The crisis. Oh, okay. Yeah, the gods in this world specifically are the rise of Dignids. Ah, I see. The Dignids cruise. Sorry, yes, okay, the rise of Dignids. I suppose it depends which Dignids and where. And what time. And when time. You said no need for details. The gods will probably be doing what the gods have always done, which is not much until they do something. Dingus. Yeah, I know. The Dingus cruise. Yeah. No, I know. And in fact, I blame myself for the naming. I could have done a better job. I could have prevented all of this. The regret that I feel is bone deep and will never leave me. Consecratus Minimus, rally and push back into the realm of oblivion. I do specifically like the hair for G6 as well. This was something that I did come up with in June-ish, July. Because I was trying to see if I could make the characters more stylized, right? And sort of fit them in with Tala's more, well, with Tala and the rest of Immortals more cartoonish sort of look. So some things sort of look right and realistic, but then their hair specifically tends to have these like these over-exaggerated curls right at the end. It's completely straight. It's very I guess you would call it thick, because it does have quite a similarity with G8, which is northern, on the same continent. So I imagine some of that mixing would probably have resulted in sort of this similar thickness, similar almost texture, but just this differing shape. And so you do have this. I saw Chungus in the chat and I have elected to not look back up. I'm going to keep going. And I think that's nice. Just a very... almost... what would you call it? It's stylized in a similar way to Dandadan's stylizing of its hair. You have all these curls and it looks a very specific way that you can identify within the context of the comic. Maybe not something that would translate super well into real life cosplays. Well, no, people... wait, no, when people cosplay, they do a really good job of that. I've seen some of the wigs. But it's something that doesn't translate to reality super well, which I think is a good thing, honestly. I should be leaning more into stylizing more aspects of the comic and more visual elements of it. Simply because I want to. I feel like it would probably benefit the story. Not super exaggerated. Just enough that it's a little bit more fun to look at visually. No! Always check on Google your made up names, yeah. The thing is that Dignus isn't a made up name, it's also Latin. I forget its actual meaning. It might be dignified, because then it would be like the dignified holy, or the holy, consecrated dignified, the revered dignified. That does seem about right. I have it written down. I have it written down. I have everything written down. When I say I don't remember something, don't panic. Because I know when I say I don't remember something, I panic. Anyway, don't mind me. I'm just drawing spoilers. It's not even spoilers, I suppose. It's more like concept art. Yeah, let's call it concept art. There you go. Ta-da! It's definitely not a kimono. Even though it definitely looks like a kimono. It does mean worthy. Did I say that in the video? I probably did, yeah. Dignus meaning worthy, and consecratus meaning revered. Worthy. Goes to show how much I remember. This isn't embarrassing at all. I do wish I remembered more off the top of my head. It's just kind of the way I am now. I used to be much better at it, but at my grand old age of 24, I just forget everything all the time. Silly ass names, yeah. Planning an immortal convention which will have the same exact setup as the Tumblr ball, but God. Can't we just make a Mortal God on the cave? Oh no. Oh nice! Hi, thank you Tito. Very cool to have you here. We've got a lot of first-time viewers on the stream. I'm very chuffed. I'm very excited to have you all here. I hope it's not too boring. I am rambling quite a lot, but that is kind of what these streams typically are. Sometimes they're a bit more structured. My favorite streams of last year are the Inktober streams that I made in October. I highly recommend watching watching the VODs of those if you would like to see something a little bit more structured and a little bit more faster paced as well. Dashcon is canon and immortal. Right. Oh no. I shouldn't have said my age. Now people know it. Oh no. Never mind, I'm 32. Do you have a favorite indie animated show? It's such a basic pick, I guess. I would really have to say, no, not Has Been Hotel. The other one. You know how it's my favorite, and I can't remember the name of it. Hell of a Boss. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Hell of a Boss is really good. It's really fun. I haven't watched it in a while. It's something that's on my list to rewatch before the next season comes out, but I don't know when the next season's coming out, so I'm just gonna leave it for a little while. Yeah, Hell of a Boss. So I'm gonna wait and bide my time and hold my breath. But I expect it to be very good because I really enjoyed. Wow, I think the comedy is surprisingly fun. Then again, I do enjoy quite a lot of media that I am embarrassed about. But nah, I like the comedy. I like I love the romance between the two characters. You know the two characters I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but you know the characters. I think it's very good. Millie and Moxie melt my heart every single time they are on screen. And that is a very good thing. It's okay, we all know you're secretly immortal and this comic is a way to express emotions and philosophy constructed over millennia. I mean, hey, if I do my job right, it'll seem that way. I don't know if I will, though. We can be optimistic. We can talk about the social and economical state of the world right now. If we like. As a treat. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's see. Ooh, one of the... I don't know if I should talk about it now. I'll talk about it later. I'm probably gonna end up tweaking some stuff from this video, and then I might make an update video on it, but I don't know how popular that'll be. So it might just be an update post. Wait until Hannah reveals her webtoon library. Oh, you know? Actually, no, never. No, that one goes to my grave. I think that one goes to my grave. Nah, we're good. I've already admitted to watching K-dramas. We're done. Ooh, my favorite character is Octavia. My favorite Has Been Hotel character is Emily. Oh, nice. Emily's cute. I like the... Hang on. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Let's get political, no thank you. But the one she likes. No. Webtoons is just full of fandom comics. They make those? Wait, no, hang on. Wait, no, where's my phone? It is important. This is important. I'm not doing anything. Don't question it. Guys, no, it's fine. I just dropped my pen. Nah! what an unfortunate WhatsApp post. It's fine. Hang on, hang on. I'm looking up something, okay? It's fine. Okay, Danny Phantom. There's one! Wait, no, wait, no, wait. Stream cancelled. I have to go. Right. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it is very cute. Oh, I like this. I'm adding this. Don't worry about it. I don't know if I should be saying this. Is it still on Webtoons? If it is, it's very low on the list. Oh, it's under originals? No, it's still very low on the list. Oh, it's very no. They might have removed it. It's been too many years. I had a comic on Webtoons that I made during my gap year between high school and studying graphic design, called Rapture. Filled with all the cynical atheist nonsense you would expect. I think it was on Webtoons and Tapas. Ah, it was on Canvas. There it is. I liked it a lot. I don't know. Maybe when I'm old and wealthy. Oh, could you imagine? Maybe if I'm old and wealthy one day I'll remake it. But that's unimportant. Anyway, Danny Phantom Webtoons. There is one of them. You need not know anything else. Oh no. Hang on. Let me check something on... Ah, okay, it is the right microphone. Okay, cool. I can unplug this line. Testing? Okay, we're still good. Okay, anyway, what was happening? Nothing. Zero professionalism, yeah. You were there during the rapture? Yeah. It was really weird. Only one guy went up and everyone stayed behind. I think his name was Jeebus or something. Jesus. Oh, that is a story. That is a edgy joke. My fave webtoon is Emmy the Robot. That sounds cute. Crab cheapest confirmed. Nah. Let's see. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting off my phone. I swear. It's just the problem with webtoons is that I like a lot of stuff on it. But then I also don't like a lot of stuff on it, and it's just having to like sort through the stuff that I like and don't like, and it takes a lot of time, and it's like, if someone recommends me a webtoon, I'm more likely to look at it instead of just like browsing the front page, because the front page is certainly a mixed bag. And I mean that in the best of ways. Eddie, you should draw Danny Phantom, but as Uma Musume would solve nothing and make millions suffer from peak overdose. No, wait. Should we derail the entire stream and do that instead? I feel like that's a good idea. Danny Phantom the Uma Musume. Jesus. I mean, one of the most popular headcanons for Danny Phantom circa, I want to say 2017, was Trans Danny. FTM Danny. I know too much about fandom history. Exclusively because Butch Hartman came out and said that he didn't like it. So people really doubled down in that regard, which I support. I think that was really cool. Stop liking stuff on webtoons and stop putting stuff on webtoons. I'm trying. I was thinking of putting the short comic up on there, but I did promise it as a Patreon exclusive, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No one will be able to read the Days Without Stream Crash thing. I can only put it in white. I'm gonna have to make it in Photoshop and then change its color to something else. That's vaguely annoying. Yeah. No one can see it. It is a blinding color. What am I gonna change this to? Nothing? Everything? Too much yellow hurts my eyes. I'm sure it's fine. We shall adapt. Dear, no. Amy the Robot is a cute little story about a maid android in an alternate history 1850s who becomes the victim of an elaborate corporate planned obsolescence scam. That sounds sick. Oh my god, I love... Oh, I love steampunk. Is it steampunk? It sounds steampunk. Post more. Never. Put the short comic up there with the next part of the comic becomes a Patreon exclusive. Ooh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay, we gotta do it. We gotta do it delayed in parts. Problem. It may take a year for the next one to come out. I haven't even started on it. This time last year, I had already made a draft for the first one. And it still only came out at the end of the year. Oh, hi Panda Mask. Thank you for joining. I'm very glad you like the humans. We're reviewing how the humans they exist. They're having a great time. Kind of. If you don't think about it too hard. What else was I going to... I feel like I had more variation here, and I've sort of just talked about the toothbrush here. Which is a crazy thing to say out of context. I don't care if it takes 2 years, I am immortal. Put the short comic on Patreon and then make the second part public so nobody knows the context. Right. Sure. Let me just sabotage things for myself real quick. Did I say 1950s? I mean, they said 1850s. Did I say 1950s? Ooh, that is dieselpunk. But 1850s, that's steampunk. Just make a bunch of stick drawings for the next comic. No, wait, guys, I know this really cool tool that'll speed things up for me. It's just a little bit of a corporate influence. It's fine. The next video will be sponsored by Gen AI. I don't want to joke. No, I don't want to joke. No, it's fine. I'm not talking about it. Make a bunch of finger paintings in your wall and say that it's the actual Immortal Comics. I can't, I rent. Ooh, I think I know the perfect martial arts for Tala to learn. The Hawaiian martial arts Lua and the Thai martial arts Muay Boran. That sounds cool. That sounds fun. I don't know anything about either of them. But it does sound fun. Oh yeah, I do comics. In fact, the whole idea of Immortal is for it to be a comic, but it's a work in progress. How many years have I been saying that? Don't think about it. Age is nothing when you're in your 20s. I will never die, and I will never age. I definitely don't think about becoming 25 at least once a month. No siree. Quarter of a century? Nope. No, I'm chill with that. If you ever fall to AI, I will abandon you, Hannah. I would want you to. If I ever fall to AI, I think everyone is within their rights to hate me forever. Next vid sponsor is Skillshare. I've already done a Skillshare sponsorship. You fool. You're probably right though. They're very easy to contact. I don't know. They're nice. They're chill. Their stuff genuinely did help me when it came to like figure art and stuff. It's the kind of thing where it depends on what helps you learn. Like if watching videos as a format and seeing another person actually do the thing that you want to do helps you learn, I guess that would make you a visual learner. Like that is extremely helpful. And yeah, there's a lot of resources online, but like, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm just I'm just doing a free sponsorship now. I don't know. YouTube does have a lot of resources though, so it's probably not that big a deal. What was I saying? The biggest AI hater I know, she's going back. Yeah, I despise AI. I really do. Like in my real day job, I've been encouraged to start using AI in my work process, and I just have not. And so far I've not gotten in trouble for it, so I'm just gonna keep not. There we go. Shh, don't tell them I'm me. They'll never know. I've got the most common name in the world. Nah. Perfect idea for a video, martial arts in the world of Immortal. That would be very cool. I don't know anything about martial arts. I feel like there's so many different disciplines and it's such a huge field of learning, and like people have dedicated their lives to it. I don't know if I'd be able to like learn enough about it to put it all into a video. I don't know. Stick Go Bonk is the best martial art. Right. I entered the 25-year-old club last year. Join us. You have no other choice. You know, you're not wrong. I do not have a choice. Cave of Paint for the webcomic. Hannah should fight someone in real life to get the experience. Right. No. Thank you. I'm okay. I think I'm fine. If I end up in a human evolution rabbit hole, I'm 120% blaming you. You can blame me, it's fine. Because I'll know that you're in the same place I was for all those years, and I will have peace. I've passed the curse on to someone else. I really should update the character frames I use in the main videos. I was kind of physically cringing while I was editing sections of the video together that I needed to. I'm sure it's fine. I do need to update it though. Whatever. I shall get to it for the next one. Fight Giorgio! I could not fight Giorgio. I would lose. And Giorgio would also lose. We would both lose. No. Look, I appreciate all the job you did on evolution, but I'll be skipping this whole thing and just making humanity start with a man and a woman. That's fine. I mean, it's a little bit biblical of you, which I have opinions on, but I'm fine with that. The video wasn't a guide. It was me complaining. It's just me freaking out for 2 years and then distilling all of that into a video that was 45 minutes long. And then just putting it out into the world. Yeah, we both just died. We fought. uh, I study history. One thing I'd like to suggest, if you do think about the martial arts, many of them use sticks because other weapons were restricted for nobles or warriors, but they couldn't ban sticks. That's pretty cool. I wonder, is martial arts specifically reserved for, not reserved, but it's always felt like the classification of martial arts specifically is more in the eastern part of the world, I guess. I understand you get Hawaiian, you get all the different parts of the archipelago in the east. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It is probably just ignorance that I haven't heard of any that aren't within a specific part of the world. Meh. I don't know. You guys educate me. Meteor hammer's just an iron ball wrapped in rope, right? What's help? That guy's trapped in IKEA. Yeah. Well. Oof, I need to do the evolution for every single one of the Safon species in my novel series. I regret making as many as I did. I'm so sorry. Good luck. Ganbate. May your death be merciful. I'm sorry, I can't say that. Martial just means armed combat. Okay, nice. Okay, so it's not specifically restricted to an area, or at least doesn't sound like it via the name. Every culture has martial arts, even Europe. Asian martial arts are just the most prestigious. Yeah, that's what I was imagining. It's like I've never seen anyone call European fighting styles Martian. I've never even seen European fighting styles. I have to assume it's the kind of stuff you see in movies. Just what we would call regular fighting. I don't know. Boxing? Boxing counts as a martial art. Because it's just your hands, right? I cannot stress enough how out of my wheelhouse all of this is. I don't even know anything about like modern day normal real life fighting tournaments or anything like that. I've never watched a single episode of WWE. There's a lot of martial arts or fighting styles around the world. I recently saw a stick fighting style from Ireland that was a cultural thing. That's so cool. That's very fun. Because that's something that I've just never even thought of a little bit. It is historic European martial arts, so I fight with long swords. Okay. Yeah, like sword fighting makes sense. I didn't think it would count as a martial art. I thought martial just meant... Well, I suppose I know what martial arts means. Just means armed combat. Yeah, no. I thought of more unarmed combat, because I believe that was the most prestigious forms of martial art are the ones without weapons. I am flailing. I don't know anything. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm learning now. Boxing or pugilism is classified as a fist-focused martial art. Nice. Okay. Well, I really did not know it was so wide of an umbrella, the concept of like martial arts. That's so cool. So it really is just fighting in general. Fighting in general. It's combat. Combat in general. That's Tala with the stitch. Right. Sorry for bringing it up. I just really love martial arts. No, it's cool. It's nice. It's cool to learn something from you guys. I tend to take a lot of my sources with a grain of salt, especially since most of them are just like things I see in the wild online, so I kind of have to take things with a grain of salt. But it's nice. It's nice to have like questions and then like people answer them. That's never happened before. How cool. Anyway, I do like the broom hair. I shouldn't call it the broom hair. It is not broom hair. It is simply cut very straight. So it has different sort of shape to it. But it is not necessary. They could grow it out and then it would just look like normal hair. Like, that doesn't seem too odd. It's when you cut it in like a diamond shape. That's when they will, when people start throwing names around. Because that's it. I wanted it to have very thick, very voluminous, similar to Tala's group, and also the G4, because they also have, not as thick, but it is more smooth, if that makes sense. It's not as puffy. It's a lot, I always fall short of like a describing word for it. Yeah, it is just, it's slimmer looking, I guess, at the end. And so it's kind of this mixing of a little bit of that, and then also some Phileas minimus from way back in the day. And then also just the fact that they separated and just sort of became their own people for a extended amount of time means that they have a very unique look for their hair, which is not found other places. Well, on any of the other continents. It is very common on that entire western continent. So I like it. Layered like sheets. Maybe. Unless that's not what we're talking about. Oh, the fighting stick is called a shillelagh. Oh no, it's an Irish word. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Shillelagh. Shillelagh? Shillelagh. I don't know. I tried. Ooh, I'm having trouble incorporating grappling into my game because I'm bad at coding, but I know it would be kind of important in one of the first styles. Fair enough. I don't know anything about coding. Good luck. Best of luck. I'm sorry. Speaking of grain of salt, how does food preservation evolve as Tali gets older? I'm so glad you asked. I know this one. Basically, you go from air drying and little bit of like primitive smoking, which would be a later development than air drying. Air drying is one of the oldest methods. You could also preserve foods by leaving them under running water, like brooks or rivers, or leaving it in a very cold place like a cave, or burying it underground. You can also preserve it by smoking it, which comes much later when they have things like clay ovens, or facilities to create like smokehouses and things like that. That I don't have as much knowledge in. Primitive smoking obviously leads to more advanced forms of smoking, but I don't know the primitive forms. I just know that smoking came much after air drying. And then you have your salting, which is the other extremely simple way of preserving your meats. That's very medieval coded, the salted meats, travel foods, that sort of thing. Yeah, smoking, salting, pickling. I think that's about it. And then you get freezing. Sun drying, that's also another one. But I think that works best for vegetables and fruit, I believe. No, you get like jerky. That's sun-dried. You get like boerewors. You get boerewors and biltong, and that's where you get all the air-dried meats. It's really difficult though. You should not air dry meats at home. Not nowadays. There's a very high chance you might get yourself a terrible disease because it air dried improperly and then you got sick. So don't just do it. Oh, bye, Chicken Soup. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around and hanging out. This is a very cool avenue here. Thank you for Rocky. Shillelagh. Ah, shillelagh. Okay, okay. There's also fermenting and spices. My god, you're so right. Yeah, fermenting. Spices. Specifically, I don't know about the spices. I didn't know that was a preservative. I always assumed it was for flavor. I'll have to look into that. I didn't know about the spices. Jerky is also salt dried, yeah. Yeah, but then you get boerewors and biltong are both air dried South African ways of preserving meat, which are surprisingly easy to do. But they do require vinegar, and I'm not sure when vinegar came into popular usage. That's the thing. There's so many different ingredients and like foodstuffs to keep track of for this sort of stuff. It's so fun to learn about, but it does mean that I may screw up a bit. Pemmican. Do they make pemmican in this world? Ah, that's so tricky. Probably, maybe, like different forms of it. Pemmican is specifically a Native American created dish. And I believe, yeah, it had like different names throughout the different parts of America. So probably something similar to it, because it is just the concept of preserving meats and berries and fat, and then it's this very high protein. I believe lard for a while was a very popular travel food, simply because it was just it was a lot of fat that you could just consume. That didn't go bad. I think that's similar concept, different execution. So it would be interesting to have something similar to that, different execution. Don't talk about biltong right now, I'm so hungry. Oh no. Biltong. Spices are preservatives, yeah. It makes sense now that you said it, but like I never considered it, or saw it anyway. That sounds like a very, like, of course the websites I looked at didn't consider the spice. All these European websites. That is a bit of a problem. It's... If you look up things in English, you're going to get English results, right? And then if they're English results, they're most likely being written by Europeans or, Northern Americans or Australians. Very rarely you get people from other parts of the globe who also speak English, writing from their perspective. But like, by and large, you're going to get like very European answers. It's kind of why I'm setting Immortal in pseudo-Europe, because that's just where so much information is. It's extremely available online, and in books and things like that. Like, I would love to set some of the story in an environment similar to South Africa, but it's a little bit more difficult to get information, simply because if I want to learn more about like felt and stuff like that, I could absolutely find that information online, but it's a lot easier for me to go and find physical books about it. And I can only find those books about it because I'm in the area, I live here in the country, and that's like more available to me. It's older information. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places. Ooh, the Vikings cook with cod liver oil to minimize scurvy. Really? That's cool. Cod liver oil. For scurvy? Here's also something I maybe would like to see be explored in Immortal, the Uncanny Valley. That's a really good point. I don't think I have any current plans to explore the Uncanny Valley, but it would be fun. There is potential to do that, for sure. I could do it. There is a way. Life finds a way. But yeah, spices preserved because they evolved chemicals to prevent against attack from fungi and insect in environments that don't get insect killing winters. That is so cool. That is so fucking... There's so much in the world I don't know. Why am I so ignorant about everything always, all the time? I keep trying to learn things, but it just reminds me of how dumb I am. How little I know. Ah, jeez. How closely does Immortals history mirror that of our Europe in the real world? Hopefully the cultural and societal history will be completely different. But the environmental, not biological, the environmental, the migrational, the geographical, the geometrical, everything other than the people and societies and the actual storytelling of it all will probably be very similar, if not a one-to-one direct take from Europe or certain parts of Europe. Yeah. I like to think if Tala saw another human species, she would think they look uncanny. You know what? 100%. I mean, if you look at Nyx, they certainly could carry through in the uncanny valley and that feeling of it. In fact, it might even be a reason why they aren't more prevalent in the story later on. It's just made people uncomfortable. But it's a tricky thing to play with, because on the one hand, if the uncanny valley was so strong, why would there have been so much intermixing, right? So clearly, at least some people thought it was okay. Unless it was all very ugly. Not ugly as in like physically, I mean just... Unless all the genes were carried through non-consensually, which I don't want to tell that story. The Uncanny Valley made by the Uncanny Glacier and now hosts the Uncanny River. Right. 100%. I remember that glacier doodle I made way back in the in one of the earlier videos about the environment. That'd be cool. There'll be no diners in Immortal because Hannah isn't cool. Right. I mean, they won't be. It's not because I'm not cool. It's because I'm... It's not because I'm not cool. Uncanny River, yeah. Birds are banned. No. Birds are hard to draw, okay? Nice. People in the immortal world are freaks too, confirmed. I was gonna make a monster... I was gonna make a monster fucking joke at some point in the video, and then I elected not to. It would be very funny though. Like, they kind of were the real life equivalent of that. I'm not gonna say it again. I'll get demonetized on this already demonetized video. Well, stream. It's a stream. I do remember that. I remember it's a stream. It's a slide. Come back. If you want a perfect example of uncanny, look at a character of Fallout 3 speak. I mean, Fallout 4 was pretty bad too. But I see what you mean, yeah. Nah, 100%. Oh. Oh, thanks, Phoenix Star. That's very nice. I appreciate that. You're drawing people, but somehow birds are the hard ones to draw. They got like wings and stuff. It's like really hard. I don't know. I don't want to do it. It's like, you gotta do the head, and then you gotta do the beak. And then there's like a body, and it's like a shape, but like what even is a shape? It's like, it's not like an oval. It's like a triangle. And you gotta do that. And you gotta do the wing. And like, how many toes do they even have? Guys, birds are hard. Just trust me on this. Just trust me on this. Birds are really hard to draw. They are very hard to draw. There you go. He's attacking this attacking this one. Oh, I never gave her freckles. I am slowly going insane over the stream. I feel like if you go back to the beginning of the stream, I was not this bad. I think the easiest animals to draw are fish, yeah. Yeah, it's all joy baiting. It's all rage baiting and joy baiting. I saw what you put on the Discord. Always wanting. Polybird. I need a reset. I need to drink some water. There's a bug in my water. I think like the vibe is just unsalvageable. I just think like it's over. There's a bug in my water. It's done. We're finished. I'm still gonna be here, and it's gonna be fine. But like, I don't think I'll ever come back from this. So you do see the Discord? I do. I comment. I say hi when new people join. I put little fire emojis on the reactions of posts that are funny. It's not my fault you guys don't look and see what I'm doing. I am a lurker in the Discord that I am technically supposed to be in charge of, and that is very funny and embarrassing. Embarrassing to me, I presume funny to at least someone. Isn't that nice? This office is now closed. Nah. The Isekai Adventurer. Yes, there is a Discord. It is for patrons on the Discord. It is very fun. You should join it. It is very fun. Oh, thank you. Georgia got to it before me. I should put that under the stream crash counter. Let's see. She lurks in her own Discord. Cue the Bigfoot me. No. Sorry, Solman. I'll get to it. I know. I'm very bad with Discord and responding to Discords. I do call them Discords. I know that's probably not the real name for them. I'm getting there. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm also a horror fan? Nice! I love horror. Horror's great. I don't know if I can write horror, but I do enjoy consuming horror. I'm also a ninny. I have never in my life played a horror game. But I don't think that should be held against me. Okay, let's see. We are losing our minds. I'm just gonna... This is my mental state right now. I'm running out of things. Okay. Maybe I am losing my mind. Maybe I should, like, not stream the full 3 hours. I do feel like I am losing the plot a tiny little bit. You could write about horror, just write about drawing birds, okay? Whatever you say. Oh, I'm just happy to ramble about history. Me too. I love history. I love people. I love the concept of, like, humans existing. So much of my writing is just me trying to understand like humans and how we are and why we are and the rules that make us and the reasons we do the things we do. And it's just so fascinating to me. And it's so hard to write. But it is cool. You do invoke feelings of horror upon me when I see that you are making a new stream. Oh, thanks, yeah, no. Yeah, but you'll still vote on the polls. Interesting. Yeah. Ooh, what are your favorite horror films? Ooh, yes, I need recommendations. Horror scene for Immortal, taxes or in-world plague dead plague. Oh. Draw the different types of G2 humans? I could. Where did I put G2? Ooh, all the different G2s. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with specifically G2.3. They are very heavily inspired from the Aborigines, but that's the incorrect term for them, isn't it? No, that is the very incorrect term for it. I'm so sorry. It is the first Islanders? No. I'm so sorry. I've completely spaced on it. The natives to Australia. Which also sounds bad, but I'm just gonna go with it. I'm so sorry. Specifically with the red hair, right? So it's very dark, it's very red. Except they don't have red hair. They have a tendency to have blonde hair, like very rarely. So First Nations, is it? Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, I flubbed that completely. I shouldn't have said that. What I said at first. This is fine. Immortal horror short comic where Tala turns from a persistence hunter to a persistence prey. Oh, I've already written a short story for that. I'm working on the first short story for the Patreon as well, because I did promise that as a benefit for some of the tiers. So it should be out by this weekend. It's just it's a short little story. It's just like it's a little thing. It might be seen as a horror story. If it is, that would be very fun. I would like it if it's perceived that way, because then I could call it practice for writing horror. But it's on its way. I think it might not be your cup, but will you do a video about world building technology or inventions? I hope so. Again, that's the thing. It feels like a topic that I am not familiar with immediately and would struggle with, just because I don't understand a lot of like technology as it stands currently. I did when I was doing the world building weekend with Madeline and them, I gave up trying to figure out how the more difficult weaving machines worked, because I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. I mean, I'm sure I could if I tried much harder and like looked into it a lot more, but maybe if I like went to a museum and like saw one in person and like watched someone like move it around and like understood like how they would move them, that would help. But like inventions and stuff is such a big concept, and it's something that I definitely don't feel like I understand right now. And maybe not even after doing a lot of research on it. So maybe not, probably not, I don't know. I'll probably also do the Earth analog sort of stuff for technology, and that it'll just be different people, different places, and it will likely impact different cultures and civilizations. Will there be birds? No. Is the heavier set woman a part of the species or generation? Like, is it an indication that this group is more well-fed or has access to higher calorie foods? No, it's just a variation. I wanted to be able to show more varied body types in my examples. I said earlier on in the stream, I feel like I maybe could have done a better job because I do feel like some people saw a correlation between the heavy setness of certain people, and they thought that I was trying to create a link between them and their lifestyles and their locations, which isn't the case. I was just doing variations. I was just drawing people. Misfits horror story will be called Terror Birds. What's that bird movie? the bird horror movie from back in the day. Oh no. Isn't it just called Birds? Stop scaring me about drawing birds. I have to animate a sequence with a giant stork. Oh, I'm so sorry. You and me, together against the birds. We'll make it. There's a YouTube channel called How to Make Everything. He goes from the Stone Age to modern day in terms of technology and development. He does jump a little bit. Really? How to make everything? Ooh, that's cool. How to make a $1,500 sandwich in only 6 months, right? Nice. Ah, alcohol? No, yeast. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'm definitely gonna be watching a lot of this. Oh, that's really useful. Okay, thank you. Yes, I will be watching all of that. Hang on, let me... Ah, I'm on my work account and not my account. No! But weaving machines are super cool, especially the old ones made only from wood. I like the simple ones. My favorite bird horror movie, Rio 2. I thought it was Rio 3. I've forgotten what happens in Rio 2. Is that the one where they have kids and then they find more birds? Or was that number 3? I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. Wasn't great either way, clearly, if I couldn't remember it. Well, I can't remember a lot of things. I shouldn't hold that to my standard. That as my standard. Oh, fair enough. I'm just thinking of Pacific Islanders who can be very heavyset because Taro is very calorie dense. I mean, I see where your logic went. I understand how you can make that assumption, but it's, again, maybe leaning a little bit riskier in terms of just the assumption of certain people looking certain ways because of their environment, which it does happen, very much so, as part of the case. The whole point of evolution is that people change to adapt to their environments. I don't know. I need to think on that a bit more because there's a certain part of it that just sits a little bit wrong with me, and I need to think on it a little bit more to see why. Because at the moment, I think that it might just be the... I don't know. Yeah, no, I definitely need to sit on it a bit more. I don't know. It's something that's wrong. That just, yeah, sits a bit wrong. Oh, yes it is, the secret third Rio. Yeah, okay. Rio 2 is about making babies, yeah. Talk about retroactively ruining the first movie. Also, the rage baiting is failing, yeah. It's because I have the temper of a Buddhist monk. Not bragging. You can rage bait her, you just need some help. No. Buddhist monk. Historically, more body fat was considered a sign of beauty and ability due to its meaning you can afford to not starve. 100%. In fact, the hunter god was designed with that in mind, where it is this... it is a much more heavy set figure because of that idolization of plenty and an overabundance, and just that being an extremely positive thing. Yeah, maybe that is it. Maybe it's that I assume it to be a negative connotation to that character or that area or that phenotype, when I shouldn't really. Yeah, that might be it. Again, I have to think on it a little bit more. This is my process. This is my process. Mm. Are their legs covered in mud, or is that just their skin color? Yeah, no. So the limbs have a darker gradation. Well, I call them gradation. I called them gradation in the video as well. In the actual imagery for the video, it feels more like they sort of fade into spots. I guess I can see how you would come across that impression, but you can see it's also on their faces as well. It's a... No. I wouldn't show something like mud. It would be a little silly to obscure the examples of humans in that way, but yeah, no, I see how you can maybe see that. Like those fertility goddess statues. Yeah, absolutely. No, that was the original inspiration for it, and then I sort of extended that with this idea of a god of plenty, and then that extended into a god of hunting, which then further extended into a god of the day and the light and the sun. It kind of all, because I ended up creating a there's a proper term for it. I ended up creating a religion that revolved around two opposing gods that sort of created, one was day, one was night, one is good, one is bad, one is hunting, one is animals, one is the concept of humanity and civilization, and the other is the concept of the wild. So that's where you get the hunter god, and that's where you get the wild god. And so you have the two dichotomy. That's it. Not really. That's it. But it creates a dichotomy. And that was the initial idea, is that that was the initial inspiration, were the fertility statues that then just ballooned out into a whole other thing, which is actually kind of perfect. That's the way I wanted to go with everything I take inspiration from. I want it to be something completely different by the time I'm done. What is the conversation? Henshin? Oh no. Oh no. What did I miss? Oof. I see what I missed. Right, okay, anyway, moving on. Would it be wrong to think of the G4 lineage to be basically that universe's version of Slavic people? I mean, it wouldn't be wrong, per se. I'm trying to avoid one-to-one analogs for any cultures or any group of people, but they would be in the same area geographically, or a similar area geographically. So if that is how you want to interpret it for yourself, that's fine. I can't stop you. But I hopefully it won't quite be that one-to-one exchange once I get into more of the cultural elements of it. Civilization versus wilderness, yeah. Yeah, no, it's nice. It's a much subtler theme. It's not something that's actively worshipped as an element of the characterization, but it is definitely something that is pitted against one another, and that it's the unspoken implication of everything that they stand for, which I know is annoyingly complex and not simple at all. But you very rarely have gods of civilization. Or if you do, it's because your culture maybe, like, they have to have a reason for it. So maybe it's because the culture sees themselves as light bringers. They see themselves as civilized. Which often then comes with this idea of that probably means they're colonizers in some form or another. They're empire builders. They're probably xenophobic. Like it's a lot of stuff needs to be attached to the idea of having a civilization god. Very manifest destiny. Like that's kind of what I picture it as. Good night. Good night, Finch. Thank you so much for watching and joining us. And thank you for staying up so late. Night tucks in. Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah, no, I was really proud of the religions video, and I feel like I got a little bit off track. I have a little bit of a hard time separating, like, okay, here's the advice for people writing, and then let me talk about my world and what I learned doing it. Because for some people that's helpful, for some people it feels like I'm sort of putting my own work in places where it, and like self-promoting in places where it doesn't need to be, and I completely understand that perspective. So it's yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit better about that. Like this last video that just the last video on the hominids was just about me. It was just me talking about my stuff. And then maybe the next video will be about just helping writers and talking about like, hey, this is what you can do, this is what you can do, step-by-step breakdown, something more like the two culture videos. Yeah. Oh, it's a Kamen Rider reference? Oh, I'll never get that. Try staying alive, you give me a lot of hope. Yeah, I'll do my best. I'm on it, boss. Oh, a religion where there are only two gods who are diametrically opposed to each other is called a dualistic theology. Fascinating. Are there some sects of Christianity that believe that? Because as I understand it, the original quote-unquote interpretation of the Bible is a monotheism, theistic religion, wherein God is all and then the devil is kind of just like a little guy that pokes around causing trouble. Whereas in a lot of more modern, I want to say, interpretations of the Bible, it's more of a dualistic theology with good and evil on either side, something like that. I don't know, something I'm interested in. It's but I have not done the research for. Unfortunately, that is far too common in my life, is that I do not do the research for it when I really should. I'm trying. One day I'll have the free time to do that. To dedicate like a morning on just something. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, will the stream be available to rewatch later? Yeah, no, all my, you should be able to find all my streams on my channel, all the VODs, everything gets recorded as it's streamed on YouTube here, and then it gets saved forever. Oh, love listening to you talk about stuff. Yay! Maybe I should just have a research stream where I just research all the things I've been meaning to. It does sound like a lot of brain power though. I'm usually kind of tapped out. Or if I'm not usually, I am today, for sure. A little bit tapped out. I can't think good, hard brain stuff right now. In case you haven't noticed in the 2.5 hours that I've been talking. Yo, hi David Gertie. Did I get sick? Oh, no. Do I sound sick? I might get sick. Someone I know is sick. I'm probably not gonna... It would suck if I got sick in the new year. Anyway. The Dino Facts, that does ring a bell. As a YouTube channel, you say. If you do want Ruby Immortal. Please don't Ruby Immortal. My baby. No. Technically, the monotheism aspect of Christianity didn't come about until several hundred years later. Really? That is incredible. I thought it was the complete opposite. The monotheism aspect of Christianity came out way later. The idea of the Trinity trying to force multiple gods into one. Okay, okay. God, that's so cool. And just when I thought I knew everything about Christianity. I mean, that is a lie. I know nothing. I know the bare minimum to survive. You think someone who's done the nativity play like 5 times would know more? I'm just upset now. The classic devil and the fiery hell is technically a heretical addition to Christianity made a millennia after Jesus. Oh no. Oh no, I forgot that this is a minefield. The history of Christianity is just... regular history. Oh no, I'm yawning. Research stream. Study session at 10, be there or be square. Yeah, I'm pulling an all-nighter and you're invited. Christianity began as a more strictly monotheistic faith, but modern sects have embraced a more dualistic character, but still insist they're monotheist. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I'm getting conflicting information, but also, I don't know. Is there any equivalent to Arabia or Middle East in this world, coming from a Middle Eastern world builder? Yeah, no, 100%. There is the... where are they? G8, I believe, is the last one I did. Yes. Okay, so I can't show you the map at the moment because I don't have any of the files opened at the moon. That was wrong. Anyway, we're on a new folder now. So G8 is roughly around the area that could be considered Middle Eastern. Again, we're not dealing with one-to-one analogs, but their environment will be very similar, and I understand that there's a lot of differences here. They probably aren't going to be one-to-ones. It's like I said with the Slavic question. It's again, I don't want to have something like that, but just because of the environment that they'll be in, you'll probably be able to make at least a little bit of a correlation. Anyway, moving back. I realized that I gave 2 different answers. I gave one answer for the Slavic question and one answer for the Middle Eastern question. That's not right of me to do. Yeah, hopefully no one-to-ones. There's probably going to be some similarities just because of the environments that they are in. I was having a bit of that trouble with creating tribal cultures, because when you're dealing with the same materials for a lot of stuff and you're in a certain environment that only has a limited amount of materials, you tend to use the same materials for all of your clothing, for all of your items, for all of your weaponry, and that can lead to having very almost similar looking similar uses and similar looks, which is something I want to avoid. I don't know how well I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try. Anyway. Be careful not to depict your world's Middle East as a pure desert biome. 100%, 100%. I do want to avoid that. Are there gonna be lizard men in Immortal? Do you even have to ask? Because of course there's gonna be. Nah. What are you going to do for South America? For South America, let's see. That is that was G6, yeah. So already have G6, which is where the majority. This is the population for South America. It is pretty different to reality, and so you do, again, the point is to avoid one-to-one analogs. I tried my best. The Trinity isn't really backed up by the Bible. Okay. You could give them sombreros? No, thank you. That will be inviting correlations. The Bible basically says about Jesus being the prophet, and the Trinity was added later. That's a bit unfortunate. Native population, yeah. Why would they have sombreros in the Middle East? Is scary. We're talking about South America. It's different, I guess. I also think that in jungle biomes, people have less hair. Is that the case? I've never heard of that. Interesting if so. I don't know. Let's see. But I have been gaslighted into making my jungle dwelling people with beards. I think that's maybe for the best. Too hot and humid for more hair. Well, you could maybe have a cultural tradition where they tend to shave off a lot of their hair just because it's more comfortable in a jungle biome, in like the humidity, yeah. I don't know. Again, I want to avoid having super specific specific types of physical traits that are specifically associated with certain groups. I understand that there is realism to it, but there is also a lot of ways that it can get misconstrued and into very negative connotations. And that is annoying, and it is also something that I kind of want to sidestep if possible. So I think stuff that can maybe be considered like a physical trait could rather be a cultural practice instead. And I didn't actually stick to that rule in the video because I did mention that the people who are more descended from Nyx have, for example, they tend to sunburn easier, they tend to get a bit more ruddy in the face, and they do have more body hair. And that is an exception that, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have made, but it's... I feel like I'm digging myself a hole here. I don't know. I did a lot of struggling with this, clearly. I've talked about how long I've spent working on this. I don't know. I think they just should all be people at the end of the day. Even if some have less hair, some have more hair. But I also don't want to make that obvious or put particular emphasis on it. There we go. That's what I should have said at the beginning. I don't know. History is awful. I don't know. The real history is just that if you go to the darker side of it and you really look into it, it is horrifying. It really sucks. Sorry. I'm I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I'm figuring it out slowly. Watch as Immortal gets outdated in real time as new archaeological information is uncovered about Neolithic hominids. I think it's already happened. I think the oh god, what was it? It was something about Neanderthals that really did just like I think in time it will be so inaccurate, but it will be a product of its time, and I'm okay with that. Your equivalent of South America has some continental collisions, so they may have better luck finding tin. Oh, cool. That's a really cool fact. Understandable, but a group that's entirely bald, even eyebrows and body hair would be amusing. Yeah. Yeah, history is awful. Even looking into the very recent sort of abandoned practice of like phrenology, that on its own is such a awful topic. I kind of don't want to talk about. I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, but it is reality. It's what people really did, And that's, again, that's kind of an aspect of like what I'm trying to avoid. It is a very weird balancing act, but I'm gonna do my best. It's a challenge. I tried making a utopic alt history in which there is less strife. I think ultimately you kind of need some of the dark side, like you need to address wars and arbitrary laws and a lot of stuff. That's the thing, it's when I was younger, I want to say late high school, so I didn't have that much experience in the world. For a world that I was like currently working on, I was like, oh, okay, I need to like make laws. Right? And like that was the goal, just make laws. I didn't have like any context for them or anything. I was just like, no, just make the laws. And I like talked about it with like my parents, and I was like, well, what are the laws really that you need to worry about? Like, don't steal, don't kill, don't I think I was trying to come up with 3 and I couldn't come up with the 3rd one, but like it goes to show how like innocent I was, I guess, at the time. But it's difficult. Because people can be really, truly awful, and in so many ways, the horror of the reality is so much worse than anything you could even show in fiction. But it's... Again, it's a part of that balancing act. So I'll try. If I had to fight Tala, I think I know how to defeat her, but it's cheating and disturbing, so everyone in chat cover your ears. I'll defeat her with tickling. I'm a monster. You are. Horrifying. I can't believe it. Demon. History is complicated. Yeah, history is complicated. Bye, Vixen. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you sleep very well. The Amazons in my setting are completely bald. Right. Ooh, chronology, I remember that. Yeah. Oof, okay. Gang, I think it's time we start wrapping up. We have, let's give it 10 more minutes, and then I think we can call it. I'm starting to, listen, it's my first stream back. It's been a couple weeks. I'm a little out of practice. My stamina's not as high as it was before. Wordle time. Yeah. I'm so unique. I do Wordle at 12 on the dot as soon as the new one comes out. With Giorgio, it is our tradition that we don't do many of the nights that we should. The Rachel Sloan Immortal will be Dingus for Dignus. I don't know, I think it's a little bit late in the timeline for them to have a slow for their whole group. It's every person. You did make everyone in that video incredibly pretty. I will take that as a compliment. Thank you. Everyone loves to insult and exclude people. Yeah, exactly. They suck. Start with Dingo. Oh, I've been meaning to ask if you know about how people talked in the Neolithic. I have no idea. No clue. It's not even something I've started looking into. Just 15 more minutes. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. No, you'd know. I said 10 minutes. I said 10 minutes. I will. I'm sorry, Tallman. I will. It's not fair to you. Okay. I'd stream myself, but I'm recovering from an awful sickness that makes it hard to talk. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I hope you get better soon. It's a... Yeah, no. Sucks being sick. I hope you get better. And then the stream shall be... The streams. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I am... I'm descending into psychosis. I don't know what... Maybe I should just go to bed. It's fine, 10 minutes. We need ugly people. I'll try. I don't know, I think I made a good variation. It's people are people. Maybe not. Okay. I'll try better. I don't know. I feel like... I suppose... Yeah, no. You're probably right. Again, I gotta sit with that. There are two arguments. There are two wolves inside me. It's two arguments I could make to that. But I shall not. Dingleberry, right. No one knows how people talk to the Neolithic. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know anything about it. Bye, Dito Sanchez. Thank you so much for sticking around. I shall do my homework and research martial art. The plague. Oh, thanks. Oh, thank you, Caesar the King. That's very nice of you to say. Good luck with your world. It is a bastard, but it's very satisfying to finish. I have a species that doesn't have keratin, so they don't have eyebrows or any hair. They have facial markings that help show facial expressions in the same way eyebrows do. Ah, okay. That's so interesting. That's really cool. I wonder... I suppose if it was just something every mammal had? I don't know. That's sick. Oh no! Thanks, Toolman. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for watching. I've said you're immortal already, but I'll say it again. Thank you. Oh, I remember they simulated the voice of Otzi and it was very deep. Ah, I see. Oh, thank you, Texaventium, very, very much for the donation. I appreciate that a lot. You two are immortal. I have to say, I am contractually obligated. You are very immortal. And you are insanely generous. Thank you very much. You too, Toolman. Both of you. Insane. Ooh, anyway, by the way, any ideas for a sapient species that would be the children of life and air? I've got it where the different gods combine their powers to create the sapient species. Light and air. I mean, I imagine something very close to sprites, air sprites. Seems pretty good. Lots of movement, lots of vibrancy. Something like a rainbow personified. Different colors. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty fun. You could play a lot with something like that. Yeah, okay. Time for me. No, I got 3 minutes. Okay. Tala's voice may sound really weird to everyone else. It would be fun if, at some point down the line, she just switches languages, and then the only acknowledgement that you get of that within the story is that people start commenting on where her accent is and where it comes from. That'd be quite fun. I'll have to think on that. That's my excuse for everything. I have to think on that. How many immortalities do I need for me to cycle back around into being mortal? 186. Oh, hi. Hi, Bugstuffler. We are just ending off, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Little bit late in the game. But it's okay. I will be back next week. Same time, same place. If you want to catch that one. Would 100% stand out in the... I see. Already have mushroom people, children of water and air. Ah, I see. The sporin. Ah, the sporin. Okay. Oh, hummingbirds is really pretty. That would be gorgeous. For the life and air. Yeah. Tala would have an amazing accent. She would have a very unique accent. Oh no! Hi Hariska, welcome back to the very end. We are just closing off for the evening, for the end of the day, whenever time you are. She would also speak in a really archaic way, I imagine. I think so. I think she would, and then she'd turn around to being quite normal, and then she would slowly not update her lexicon fast enough, and so she'd always sound just a step behind everyone else. I think that'd be fun. She would sound old-fashioned, yeah. The saddest part of being a conlanger is that readers will only read the English part. I know, it feels like so much work to put into something that then doesn't get nearly as much of a return back on it. Oh well. Only 51 streams to go until the year is over, right? I think you're mourning a little too early. We'll be okay. That'd be cool. It would be interesting if the little voice bubbles portray accents stylistically, and Tala's bubble always stays the same as everyone around her changes as the generations pass. That's very interesting. That's very cool. That's also something that's been considered at some point in the past. It would be neat. It's a cool idea. It's okay, I'll read the conlang. Oh, thank you. Okay. I have to thank you all very, very much for coming here and joining and staying. Even if it was only for a little while, or if it was for the whole stream. I can't thank you enough. This has been fantastic. It's been very fun coming back. And also, we get to put that counter up by 1 because we didn't crash. Turns out it was the driver this whole time. I'm going to throw the best talent show this town has ever seen. Okay, but thank you all very much. I shall see you next week, same time, same place. If you would like to join the Patreon and vote on what the next stream will be about, that is also an option. But yeah, thank you very, very much. Super appreciate you. And yeah, bye-bye. Bye.